and welcome back to the Deep Dive. I am so happy to be here with you today.
It's great to be here.
If you're listening to this, maybe you're on your way to work, maybe looking out the window at the city.
Or maybe taking a quiet walk in the park.
Yeah, or maybe, and this is my favorite image, you're sitting at your desk with a warm cup of coffee and a notebook, just ready to learn.
Wherever you are, we're glad you're here with us.
We are, and today we're doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, that's right. Usually we're talking about technology or history or these big, global trends. But today is very special.
It is. Today we're talking about, we're talking about you.
We're focusing on communication. And specifically, we're creating this deep dive for the listeners of LinguaWave English.
That's right.
So we're going to keep our English really clear today. We're going to speak at a nice, steady pace and really focus on practical skills you can use right away.
And the source we're looking at is from LinguaWave English itself. And the topic is mastering the self-introduction.
The self-introduction.
It sounds so simple, doesn't it? Hello, my name is, and then you're done.
Right. It's what you learn in the very first week of any English class.
But in real life, it is never, ever that simple.
It is not simple at all. In fact, our source material brings up a really interesting problem right at the very beginning. It calls this problem the brain freeze.
I love that term, brain freeze.
Me too.
It immediately makes me think of drinking a cold milkshake too fast, and you get that sharp pain in your head.
Yeah, that's the one.
But we're talking about speaking English here, so tell us, what is the brain freeze in this context?
Okay, well, think about this situation. You're at a party, maybe, or a networking event for your job.
Right.
You're holding your drink, you're feeling okay, and then someone turns to you, smiles, and asks that question.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about yourself.
Oh, my stomach just dropped hearing you say that. I know that feeling so well. My heart starts beating fast. My palms get sweaty.
Exactly. And the source makes a fascinating point here. It says this whole situation is a paradox.
A paradox? That's a great word. Maybe we should break that down for our listeners. What exactly is a paradox?
Sure. A paradox is something that seems impossible or contradictory. It's a situation that doesn't quite make sense on a logical level.
Okay, so what's the paradox here?
Well, the paradox is this. You know yourself better than anyone else in the world. You are the #1 expert on you.
That's true.
Nobody knows your life story, your job, your hobbies better than you do. So logically, this should be the easiest question in the world to answer.
Right. If you asked me about, I don't know, quantum physics, my mind would go blank because I don't know anything about it.
Of course.
But tell me about yourself. I should have the answer to that. So why is it so hard? Why do I just freeze?
It's a psychological barrier.
Sure.
The source explains that what happens is we try to translate our entire life story all at once.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Imagine your brain is a busy highway.
Okay, picturing it. A big highway, lots of cars.
Now imagine 1,000 of those cars all try to take the exact same exit at the exact same time.
It's a traffic jam. A complete and total gridlock. Nothing moves.
Exactly. It is a mental traffic jam. You're trying to think about where you grew up, your first job, your family, your hobbies, what you want to do in the future.
And you're trying to do it in English, which might not be your first language?
Right. It's simply too much information for your brain to process in that one critical second.
So instead of saying something smart or interesting, we freeze. We say nothing. Or we say something incredibly basic, like, I am a teacher. I like books.
Yes, we revert to the absolute basics just to survive the moment.
So the source must propose a solution to this mental traffic jam.
It does. And I really, really like the image it uses. It calls it the modular script.
Modular.
Or to make it even simpler, the Lego bricks approach.
Lego bricks. Okay, I played with those as a kid. Little plastic blocks, and you build things with them piece by piece.
Precisely. That is the perfect analogy. The idea is that you do not need one giant memorized speech.
Because that would sound robotic.
It would sound like you're reading a script from a teleprompter. Instead, what you need are small pieces, small individual blocks of information.
So you have a block for your greeting.
A block for your job.
A block for your hobbies.
Exactly. And the best part about Legos, as you know, is that you can change them. You can move them around.
Right. You can swap a red brick for a blue one.
And that is the key to this whole method. It gives you flexibility. If you're talking to a potential boss, you use your professional blocks.
Okay.
But if you're talking to a new friend at a party, you can just swap them out for your casual blocks. You're building the introduction specifically for the person you're talking to.
I love that. It makes the whole task feel so much smaller, so much more manageable. We don't have to build the entire castle at once.
Nope. We just need to find the right bricks for the right situation.
And that's our mission for this deep dive today, isn't it?
It is. We are going to guide you, our listener, from that feeling of brain freeze to a feeling of fluent flow. We're going to look at, I think, 4 or 5 of these specific bricks you can use to build your perfect introduction.
Okay, so we're going to cover greetings, what the source calls the life map, which sounds intriguing. Then we'll get into career structures, and finally, personality. By the end of this, you will have a solid plan.
I think you'll have more than a plan. You'll have a toolkit.
A toolkit. I like that even better. So, shall we start with the very first brick, the foundation?
Let's do it. Section 1, step 1, reading the room.
Reading the room. That's a great idiom. It basically means understanding the social situation before you start talking, right?
Yeah, it's all about context awareness, looking around, feeling the energy, and then choosing your words.
Because context is everything. The source makes it very clear there's a huge difference between a job interview and, say, a rooftop party.
A massive difference. And if you get them mixed up, it can be pretty awkward.
I can imagine. So let's break that down. Let's start with the formal setting. Imagine you're meeting a VIP, a new manager, a very important client.
A high-stakes situation.
Exactly. What brick do we use here?
The source suggests a really simple but effective strategy here. It calls it the time of day strategy.
Time of day? You mean literally just saying good morning?
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It sounds almost too simple, but it's very safe, it's very polite. It immediately anchors the conversation in a professional present moment.
Okay, that makes sense. But the source highlights a specific phrase for these formal situations, doesn't it? It compares 2 phrases.
It does. Listen to the difference. Phrase A is, nice to meet you.
Okay, standard. I say that all the time.
And phrase B is, it is a pleasure to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you. It definitely sounds different. It feels, I don't know, weightier, more serious.
It is more complete, isn't it? And let's get into the grammar just for a second. When we say nice to meet you, we're actually using a shortcut.
A shortcut.
The full sentence is, it is nice to meet you. But in casual speech, we just drop the it is.
Oh, right. We just jump to the main point.
Exactly. But when you make a point of saying the full sentence, it is a pleasure to meet you, or even it is an honor to meet you, you are consciously adding a layer of respect.
You're not taking the shortcut.
You're not. You're taking the time to speak the full, proper sentence. It sounds more professional. It's like you're telling the other person, you are important, so I'm going to use my full, formal English for you.
It signals that you respect them and you're taking this interaction very seriously.
Precisely. It's the perfect tool for meeting a manager, a CEO, or an important client for the first time.
Okay, so that is our formal brick. Good morning. It is a pleasure to meet you, but now let's flip the script.
Let's do it.
What if I'm not in an office? What if I'm at a hostel while traveling? Or a bar? Or maybe one of those language exchange cafes?
Right. A totally different environment.
If I walk up to a backpacker with a guitar and say, "Good evening, it is an honor to meet you," they're going to look at me funny.
They might think you're a robot, or that you try to sell them something. It's too stiff. It's too formal. It actually creates a wall between you and the other person.
So in informal settings, we need a completely different brick. We need to break down that wall, not build it up.
Exactly. And the source suggests a few great options here. The classic is, hey, how's it going?
How's it going? Yeah, you hear that in movies and TV shows all the time. It's very natural.
It is. Another really good one is, hi there, great to finally meet you. This is especially good if you've maybe talked to the person online before meeting them in person.
It feels lighter, faster. It just removes that formal distance between 2 people.
It's an invitation to have a friendly chat.
Now, this is where I think the source gets really, really interesting. It includes a pro tip about authenticity.
This is so important.
It warns against something called slang hopping.
Slang hopping. This is such a common trap for language learners, and it comes from a good place.
What do you mean?
Well, you watch a lot of American movies. You listen to hip-hop music. You hear phrases like, what's up, bro, or sup, or yo, what's good?
And you think, oh, if I use those words, I'll sound like a native speaker. I'll sound so cool and fluent.
Exactly that. You're trying to fit in. But the source gives us a very strong warning here. Be careful. If that is not your natural personality in your own language, do not force it in English.
That is such good advice. It reminds me of a friend of mine. He's a very quiet, very polite accountant, always wears a suit, very gentle person.
Okay.
But when he speaks English, he tries to say things like, yo, what's up, man? And it feels wrong. It doesn't match who he is.
It feels performative, like he's playing a character, he's acting, and the person listening can feel that instantly. It doesn't create a connection. It actually creates distance because it doesn't feel honest or real.
Right.
The source has this amazing line that says, authenticity is the fastest bridge to fluency.
Authenticity. So
Yeah.
being real, being yourself.
Yes. If you are a polite, formal person in your own language, then use polite, formal English. That's you. If you're an energetic, loud, funny person, then use energetic, funny English.
Be yourself.
People want to meet you, not some character that you think they want you to be.
I think that takes a lot of pressure off the learner, you know? You don't have to be cool. You just have to be clear and, well, be authentic.
That's it. Clarity and authenticity.
No.
Now, you ready to try a little interactive game?
I am. Let's do it.
The source calls this the practice loop. I'm going to give you a scenario, and I want you to choose the right greeting brick.
Okay, I'm ready. And for everyone listening, try to answer in your head before I do.
Perfect. Scenario A. It's your first day at a new, very formal corporate job. You are walking into the office of the CEO. She looks up from her desk. She smiles at you. What do you say?
Okay. CEO, first day, high pressure, definitely a formal situation. I would absolutely use the time of day strategy. I'd say, good morning. It's an honor to meet you.
Perfect. That is textbook. It shows respect. It's professional. It sets exactly the right tone for that relationship. Okay, now for scenario B.
Ready.
You're traveling the world. You are staying at a hostel, a kind of shared, very casual hotel for travelers. You walk into the shared kitchen to get some water, and you see another traveler making coffee.
Okay, hostel kitchen, super relaxed. No suits and ties here. I want to be friendly and open. I would say something like, hi, where are you headed?
Excellent. That is fantastic. You used it, a casual opener, hi, and you immediately asked a question to start a conversation.
And it's a relevant question for that setting.
The perfect traveler question, where are you headed, just means, where are you going next on your trip?
Yeah.
It shows you're interested in their journey.
So we have our first Lego brick, and it's a double-sided one, the greeting. You have a formal side and an informal side.
Right, and you just choose which side to use based on the situation. Now we need to move to the next step.
Okay.
Step 2, the life map.
The life map. I like the sound of that. This is usually the part where people ask, so where are you from?
It is. And this is the exact moment where many, many learners accidentally kill the conversation.
Kill the conversation. Wow, that's strong. How do they do that?
They answer with a single, simple fact. Someone asks, where are you from? And they say, I'm from France. And then silence.
Ah, I see what you mean. It's a dead end. It's like a cul-de-sac. There is nowhere for the conversation to go.
You stated a fact, but you didn't offer a story. There's no hook.
Nothing for the other person to grab onto.
Exactly. So the source suggests using what it calls a journey structure. It's a way to connect your past to your present in one smooth sentence.
Ooh, I like that. Can you give us the structure? What does that sound like?
Sure. The basic structure is, I'm originally from your city or country, but I've been based in your current city for the last time period.
Oh, I really like that. I'm originally from, but I've been based in.
It tells a mini story of movement.
Yeah.
It shows that your life has chapters. It does. And let's zoom in on a specific keyword in that phrase. Based in.
Right. What? Based in? Why not just say, I'm living in?
Living in is perfectly fine. It's 100% grammatically correct. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
But based in sounds a little more modern, a little more professional. It has a slightly different feel. It implies that you are active in that city. It's your base of operations.
Like a secret agent space.
Huh. A little bit, yeah. It's a very common phrase in international business and among, digital nomads. It suggests purpose.
So if I say I am based in New York, it sounds like I'm there to do things, not just that my apartment is there.
Precisely. It gives your presence a slightly more dynamic, active image.
Yeah,
It makes you sound like a person who has projects and plans.
I see. It's a small word choice that makes a big difference in perception.
It really is.
Okay, so we've got our location covered with a nice professional sounding phrase. Now let's talk about what we do. The source calls this next part the grammar gym.
Oh, yes. The grammar gym. Time to do some reps.
Yeah.
Because we need to exercise our prepositions.
Prepositions. Those tricky little words like in, at, for, as. They can be a nightmare for learners.
They can. And they are so important when talking about your job. A lot of learners translate them directly from their own language, and it just sounds a little bit off in English.
I hear mistakes with this all the time. People will say, I work in Google, or I work for the marketing.
Right. And while native speakers will almost always understand what you mean, it's a small signal that you're not quite fluent yet.
So to sound really professional, we need to nail these.
We do. And there are 3 big ones we need to get right.
Let's break them down. They are work for, work in, and work AS.
Let's start with work for R. This one is easy. You use work for R with the name of the company.
Okay, so I work for Google. I work for Starbucks. I work for the government.
Correct. The company is the entity you work for. A good way to remember it is, who pays your salary? I work for them.
Got it. Simple enough. Now, what about work in?
Work in is used for 2 things. The department or the wider industry. Think of it like a container. You are inside that container.
So if I'm on the marketing team, I say I work in marketing.
Yes, or I work in the sales department. Or you can talk about the whole industry. I work in the tech industry. I work in education. You are inside that field.
Okay, container. That's a good mental image.
Yeah.
And the last one, work AS.
Work AS is for your specific job title. It's about your role, your identity at work. I work as a teacher. I work as a software engineer. I work as a designer.
So let's try to put all 3 of them together in one super sentence. Let me see if I can build one.
Go for it.
I work for Microsoft in the sales department as a regional manager.
Perfect. That is grammatically flawless.
Yeah.
And it sounds so clear and professional when you get it right. It answers the who, the where, and the what of your job.
Who you work for, where you work in the company, and what you work as. Now, what about our listeners who are students? We know a lot of our listeners at LinguaWave are university students. I am a student is... Oh, it's a bit boring, isn't it?
It is. It's another one of those conversation killers, like saying, I am from France.
Yeah.
It's too simple, too factual.
It doesn't give the other person that hook.
Right. So the source strongly advises against just saying, I am a student. You want to give the other person something specific to grab onto.
So what are some better alternatives? What should they say instead?
A great phrase is, I'm currently majoring in subject.
Majoring in. That just means your main subject of study, right?
Yes, you can say, my major is history. Or, more actively, I am majoring in history.
Okay, that's one option. What's another?
You could also say, I'm a final year student at university name. Or a first year student or graduate student. You're adding detail.
So why is this so much better? Why is I'm majoring in marine biology better than I'm a student?
Because if you just say, I'm a student, the other person has to do all the work. They have to ask the follow-up question. Oh, cool. What do you study?
Right. You're making them work for the conversation.
But if you say, I'm currently majoring in marine biology, suddenly the conversation is alive. The other person can immediately say, wow, marine biology. Tell me about sharks. Or, have you been scuba diving?
You are handing them a topic on a silver platter. You're making it easy to talk to you.
And that really is the secret of a great introduction. It's not just about broadcasting information about yourself. It's about making it easy and enjoyable for the other person to have a conversation with you.
That is a fantastic perspective. It's not selfish. It's generous. We're building bridges. Okay, so we've greeted them. We've given them our life map. We've explained what we do for work or study. But I feel like we still sound a little bit like a walking resume.
Yes. A resume is dry. It's just facts and figures. We are missing the most important part. We need to add the human element.
And that brings us to step 3.
Step 3, hobbies and personality. This is where we stop sounding like a job application and start sounding like a person.
This is where we show who we really are, beyond the job title.
Right. And again, we need to be careful to avoid the vocabulary trap, the trap of using very basic, low-energy words. And the most basic phrase of all is, I like.
I like music. I like food. I like to travel.
It's grammatically correct, of course,
Yeah.
but it has zero energy. It has no color, no passion. If you want to make a real connection with someone, you need to show some enthusiasm.
So what's the upgrade? How do we level up from I like?
The source suggests using what it calls degree adverbs.
Degree adverbs, words that show how much you like something. They show the intensity.
Exactly. So instead of saying, I like cooking, you could try. I'm really into experimental cooking.
Really into, yeah, that sounds so much more natural, much more conversational.
Or instead of saying, I like movies, you could try. I'm a massive fan of indie films.
Massive fan. That really shows passion. And I notice you added a detail there in both examples.
So catch.
Not just cooking, but experimental cooking. Not just movies, but indie films.
Because specificity creates connection. If you say, I like food, nobody cares. We all have to eat. But if you say, I am really into finding the best spicy Thai street food, now we have a real topic. I can ask you about your favorite dish or the best restaurant you found.
Be specific. I love that. Now, what about describing our personality? This is a tricky one. It can feel a bit arrogant, can't it? To just say, I am a funny person or I am very smart.
It can feel very strange to praise yourself directly.
Yeah.
And also, it's not very interesting. Human beings are complex. We're not just one thing.
Right.
So the source offers this beautiful, elegant structure to talk about personality. It is the at first but structure.
Ooh, I like the sound of this. How does that work?
You use it to contrast two different sides of your personality. It shows that you have layers, that you're not a simple character. For example, I'm a bit reserved at first, but once I get comfortable, I'm quite talkative.
Oh, that is really nice. It shows self-awareness. It shows you know yourself.
Exactly. And it's also really helpful information for the person you're talking to. It says, hey, if I seem a little quiet right now, don't worry, just give me a minute and I'll open up. It makes you sound very fluent and very socially intelligent.
And it uses that magic word we've seen before, but.
But is a power word in storytelling. It creates a turn, a surprise. The source even calls this the surprise element.
Can you give us another example of this surprise element in action?
Sure. Think of a common stereotype about your job or your personality and then break it, for example. People usually describe me as reliable and pretty serious at work, but I also have a really creative side that loves street photography.
I see. So you're showing two parts of yourself. You have the serious professional side and you have the creative artist side, and you put them together.
And that makes you a fascinating three-dimensional person. If you just say, I am reliable, you sound like a machine, like a car. But if you say, I am reliable, but I love taking photos of strange things on the street, now you're an interesting human being I want to know more about.
So, wow, we've built a lot of bricks now. We have the greeting, the life map, the human element. Is there anything left? Are we done?
We are so close. There's just one final piece that can really take your introduction to the next level. Step 4, future goals.
Future goals. Why do we need to talk about the future in an introduction? Isn't that getting a little too deep?
Not at all. Think about it. An introduction is the start of a relationship, right? Whether it's a friendship or a professional connection.
Okay.
If you only talk about your past and your present, you're static. You're a photograph. But if you talk about the future, you show direction. You show momentum. You're a movie.
It tells people where you are going, not just where you've been.
And it provides a next step for the conversation. It's an open invitation for the other person to help you or give you advice or even join you on your journey.
That's a great point. So what are some good, simple phrases for this brick?
A really useful one is, in the long run, I hope to, for example. In the long run, I hope to start my own business.
In the long run. That just means in the distant future, doesn't it?
Exactly. It shows you have a big, ambitious plan. Or, for our listeners, something about language learning could be perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
You could say, I'm currently focusing on improving my English so I could work abroad one day.
That is a fantastic goal. It explains why you are there, why you are learning, and it might make the other person say, oh, that's amazing. My cousin works abroad in Canada. I can introduce you.
Exactly. You are opening doors. You're giving the other person a chance to connect with your dreams, not just your current job title.
Okay. So we have all the pieces. We have all 5 Lego bricks. Now, the final and maybe most important step is the assembly.
Putting it all together into one smooth, flowing structure.
And the source gives us a great case study to look at, a full example. It uses a character named Maya.
Right. Let's look at Maya's introduction.
Okay, how about this? I'll read her full introduction just as it's written, and then you and I can break it down brick by brick and see why it works so well.
That's a perfect idea. Go for it.
Clears throat. Okay, here's Maya. Hi there, my name is Maya. I'm originally from Vancouver, but I've been based here in Taipei for 3 years. I work in digital content creation, specifically for educational podcasts. In my free time, I'm a massive fan of sourdough baking. It's like a science experiment in my kitchen. People say I'm quite patient, which helps with the baking. My goal for this year is to launch a new series on language psychology.
Wow, that was excellent. It flows so smoothly, doesn't it?
It really does. It doesn't sound forced at all.
So let's deconstruct it. Let's take it apart and see the architecture inside.
Yeah.
What was the very first brick she used?
The greeting. Hi there. My name is Maya.
Simple, casual, friendly. Perfect for a mixer or a semi-professional event. She didn't use that heavy, formal, it is an honor phrase. She kept it light and accessible.
Right. Then she immediately went to the life map. Originally from Vancouver, but I've been based here in Taipei for 3 years.
She used that beautiful based-in structure. She established your journey. She immediately gave us 2 interesting locations to ask about. Vancouver and Taipei.
Then came her work. I work in digital content creation.
And notice the preposition. Work in. And she didn't just stop there. She added that little bit of specificity,
Mm-hmm.
specifically for educational podcasts.
Which is a great hook.
A great hook. Now, the next part was my favorite, the human element.
Mine too. I'm a massive fan of sourdough baking.
She used that powerful degree adverb, massive fan, to show her passion. But look very closely at what she did next. This is the really high-level part I want our listeners to notice.
Okay.
She connected her personality trait directly to her hobby. She said, people say I'm quite patient, which helps with the baking.
That is brilliant. It's so smart. She didn't just list two separate facts like, I like baking, I am patient. She wove them together. Patience helps the baking. The baking proves the patience.
Is high-level storytelling in a single sentence. She's showing, not just telling. She's proving she's a patient person by talking about a hobby that requires a huge amount of patience.
It makes both the hobby and the personality trait feel more real, more authentic.
It does. And finally, she closes with her goal.
My goal for this year is to launch a new series on language psychology.
Just one clear, concise sentence. But it tells us she's ambitious, she's active, and it gives us another fascinating topic to ask her about.
The whole thing is just a perfect little package. It takes, what, maybe 45 seconds to say? But in that short time, you learn so much about her as a professional and as a person.
And notice it didn't feel like she was reading a pre-written script, even though she was using these pre-planned bricks.
No, it felt natural.
That's the power of the Lego method. Because she knows her individual blocks so well, she can just arrange them naturally in the moment.
So for our listeners, the goal here is not to memorize Maya's speech and repeat it.
Absolutely not.
The goal is to build their own, to write their own bricks.
And that brings us to the action plan. The homework for today's deep dive.
We always like to give a little bit of homework. But don't worry, there are no grades. It's just for practice.
The source suggests a very clear 3-step plan. Step 1 is write down your 5 bricks.
Okay, let's just recap those 5 bricks one more time so everyone has them.
Good idea.
Number 1, the greeting, formal and informal.
Number 2, the life map, your origin and your current base.
Number 3, your work or your study using the correct prepositions.
Number 4, the human element, your hobbies and your layered personality.
And finally, number 5, your future goal.
That's it. Write them down, keep them simple. Just 1 or 2 sentences for each brick. That's step 1.
Okay, what's step 2?
Record yourself. Everyone has a smartphone with a voice recorder app. Just record yourself saying your full introduction.
Ugh, I have to be honest, I hate listening to the sound of my own voice. I think everyone does.
Everyone hates it. It's a universal feeling. But it is the single best way to improve.
So what should we listen for?
The source says something really important here. Don't listen for every tiny little grammar mistake.
Yeah.
That's not the point. The point is to check the vibe.
The vibe, the overall feeling. Do you sound friendly? Do you sound confident? Do you sound bored?
Exactly. Ignore the small errors for now. Just focus on the flow and the energy. Do you sound like a person that someone would want to continue talking to?
That's a great metric. And what's the final step? Step 3.
Step 3 is engagement. Put it out into the world.
The source asks listeners to leave a comment on their platform.
Yes. If you are listening to this as part of LinguaWave English, go to the comments section and write a short 3-sentence version of your introduction. Practice it. Share it.
It's about taking that action. Writing it down and sharing it makes it real. It's not just an idea in your head anymore.
You know, there's a beautiful final thought in this source material that I think is the perfect way to wrap things up.
Oh, what is it?
It says, every time you speak about yourself, you aren't just practicing English. You are building a bridge.
Building a bridge. I love that image. It's so powerful.
Isn't it? A bridge to a new friend. A bridge to a new career opportunity. A bridge to a new culture. When we introduce ourselves properly, we are sending an invitation to someone to cross that bridge and come into our world.
That completely changes how you think about it. It stops being a scary test of your grammar and starts being an exciting act of connection.
And that is why we learn languages in the first place, isn't it? Not to pass exams, but to connect with other human beings.
I think that is the perfect thought to end on for today's deep dive. We really hope you, our listener, feel a little less brain freeze and a lot more fluent flow.
Remember, you are an interesting person. You have great story to tell. You just need the right bricks to build it.
Thank you so much for listening today. Good luck with your introductions. Go out there and start building some bridges.
Keep practicing. It really does make all the difference.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye for now.